Hey guys, Dr. Schulte here. Today we are talking about the topic of food allergies. Over 95% of you guys are eating something that is toxic to your body without even knowing it. So I'm not talking about the things like sugar or dairy or gluten, all these things that we know that are not good for us that cause chronic inflammation. I'm talking about things like avocados, oranges, apples, cashews, almonds, coconut, things that we're being taught that are healthy. And for many of us, they are very, very healthy and beneficial. But for some of you, those can actually be toxic and causing a chronic inflammation. And this can be the answer for why some of you may be sitting there saying, I eat incredibly healthy and yet I still don't feel well. I still can't lose the weight. I still have skin issues. I'm still irritable. All these things that can be happening because some of these healthy foods that you're eating can be toxic for you. And so when we're looking at food allergies, there can be a lot of confusion. A lot of us are taught, you know what, if you don't feel well or you have a stomach ache after you eat, typically we're thinking, man, what did I eat today, within the last 24 hours? Well, the interesting thing is the research is now showing that you could have symptoms from a food allergy or food hypersensitivity up to 72 hours ago. So that headache that you're feeling today can actually be from the apple or orange that you ate 2 or 3 days ago. And so that's why the testing is so important, and that's why it's a key piece to the health puzzle that we do in our office, specifically to each individual. And so how do you know if you have a food allergy? Well, some of the common symptoms, like I mentioned before, mood, so irritability, fatigue, anxiety, sleep issues, skin issues, eczema, adrenal fatigue. Maybe you can't lose that extra weight, or you have digestive issues, or you bloat after you eat. All of those can be signs of food sensitivity. And so when we're talking about terms too, this is where a little bit of that confusion can come in, because I've had patients come in and say, hey, I've had my food allergies tested and my doctor said I have none. And here's the confusion is when you go to an allergist or a medical doctor, they're typically going to test what are known as Ige reactions. And these are reactions that are where you'd get like anaphylactic shock, or you'd have death if you ate those foods. So we've heard of those people with the EpiPens and things like that. It's a really important response, but that response only makes up about 1% of your immune system. So what I'm talking about in the testing that we do is making up 70% of that immune response. And that is having major effects on the chronic illnesses that we have today. So we spend trillions of dollars in the United States on our healthcare, right? 75% of that are on chronic illness. And I think part of that is due to the fact that we're not doing the proper testing. We're doing 1%, which don't get me wrong is important, but what are we doing about the other 70%? These people that are going to the doctor saying they eat healthy, they can't lose that weight, they can't get healthy, they can't balance their body. Food allergies is a key point to that. And so in our office, we use a company called Immunolabs. In my opinion, this is the best food allergy testing that's out there, where we test both IgE and IgG reactions. And when we're talking about, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but I've had patients come in and say, I've had my food allergies tested, but I have not had my food sensitivities. That IgE reaction are food sensitivities, but so are those allergies. A definition of an allergy is a hypersensitivity to what's known as an antigen. So it's causing an inflammatory response. And the reason that's important for all of us is because if you're constantly eating these same foods that are chronically inflaming your body, that sets the stage for much more serious disease in the future. We're talking about cancers, heart disease, autoimmune issues, chronic digestive issues. These are things that so many of you are dealing with today. And so back to that Immunolabs, their results are incredibly reliable. So we're testing about 110 different foods. It's 99% accurate, 99.5, I believe, percent accurate. We're testing 4 different IgG reactions, so it is incredibly complete. And it's one of my favorite tests. So when we start to really pinpoint this is what's going on in my body, then I can make those changes and I can see the results that someone else may see different results, because you are very unique. And we look at that and we take that into consideration with every single patient that we see in our office, because we're all unique. And so in my case, just to give you an example, I eat really healthy. I was allergic to almonds. I was allergic to coconut. I was allergic to obviously casein and dairy, which almost all of us should never, ever be eating that. But eggs, I did a video not too long ago about pasture-raised eggs. Those are the best type of eggs that you can have. But what I've realized is if you're allergic to them, you need to stay away from them. And what we do in our office as well is we can work with these food allergies and we can give you alternatives and switches that you can do to make it really easy. So for example, one thing I learned that was actually kind of fun is I love eggs, and the switch that I've made is to duck eggs. And I know some of you are saying, man, that is disgusting. I could never eat one. I was with you, just the thought of it. I was like, I'm never going to eat that. I tried it and I prefer them. There's no aftertaste. They're bigger, so you get more for your money. They have more protein, more healthy omega fats in it. So these switches are kind of fun as well. So I encourage you guys, if you're watching this video and you have some of those symptoms, the fatigue, the digestive issues, the skin issues, you're irritable, your hormones are imbalanced, I'm telling you, this can be a major, major piece of that puzzle that we can address. So one of many that we look in our office. If you're interested, give our office a call, 402-420-0024. If you're not if you're not in Nebraska, Lincoln, or Omaha, I do talk to people all over the country via the internet. But I would encourage you to go to thewellnessway.com. We have doctors all over the country around you that can actually be doing these tests for you and giving you the information back and get you back on that path to health. You guys deserve the best, and I'm telling you the Wellness Way approach is the best I've ever come across in over 11 years in practice. You guys, any questions, comments, leave them below. Otherwise, have a great day. Talk to you soon.